welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And in this video, we're going to be looking at this. So this is The Lion King. Yes, this is the animation. We'll get to the live action or whatever the heck they call this. So this came out in 1994, around the same time as Pocahontas. And what's kind of funny about this is at the time, Pocahontas was supposed to be their big, this is the Disney Renaissance. This is coming after, I believe, Beauty and the Beast. No, Aladdin. And again, big princess things. So Pocahontas was the big thing in Disney Animation Studios at that moment. And so everybody wanted to work on Pocahontas. Nobody wanted to work on The Lion King. Lion King, I think, made more money and didn't have issues. We'll deal with the Pocahontas issues in November. So we have quite a while. We'll talk about the Pocahontas issues. But nonetheless, this didn't have the best of the best artists on it because everybody wanted to do Pocahontas. This is a better movie, in my opinion. I think a lot of people's opinions. And now I'm going to go into, a lot of people say the Lion King is based off Hamlet. It's not really. I mean, Hamlet's kind of it's a general story. It's a hero's tale. It really is. It's just one of those, your standard heroes tales, similar to King Arthur and Robin Hood and all sorts of things. Fathers dying is not really that uncommon in these. So if you've been living in a cave somewhere and do not know what this is about, let's kind of cover what the Lion King is about. It starts off with all the animals of the African savannah coming and bowing to Simba, newborn baby Prince Lion, whose father is Mufasa. And essentially it starts off with his father telling him, it's like, this is the circle of life. It's like, we eat the animals eat the grass. When we die, we become the grass, and the animals eat us. And this is our responsibility. This is the cycle of life kind of things. Like, we do not take more than we should. Ooh. So Simba and his best friend Nala then go off and talk about what it's not like going to be when he's king. Because his father is also telling him, do not go over to this area where the hyenas are, or anywhere near your Uncle Scar, which is supposedly Mufasa's brother. Then you have the whole thing where Mufasa engineers a wildebeest stampede and kills Mufasa and blames it on Simba. And Simba runs away, and Scar sends the hyenas after him, only Simba gets away. And runs into the line art this is. Supposedly it's the jungle. It's got to be some sort of oasis of some sort. That part doesn't make any sense. Not to mention meerkats and warthogs live in the savannah. But he gets to some fancy waterfall-filled oasis in the savannah, which seems more like jungle, but again, it's a fantasy film. And he meets up with Simba, or he meets up with Timon, who is a meerkat, and his friend Pumbaa, who is a warthog, who teach him, one, not to worry about anything, not to stress, you're not responsible for anything, and let's eat bugs. So, and they sing Hakuna Matata. So that's where you have that song. Years pass, because this again has a thing where he now becomes a full-grown lion. And Nala shows up. And they have their whole song, and he still thinks he killed his father. And she's like, why the heck are you here? And, not helping us because the hyenas have taken over and they're killing everything and we're starving. Which is the reason she's there, because she was chasing Pumbaa because she eats food and she's starving. And he just can't go back, and she decides to go home. Meanwhile, Rafiki, who is one of my favorite characters, he is the let's see, This is not showing Rafiki, here's Rafiki, who is not a baboon. He is a male mandrill, different animal. You can tell by the face. Now, he's the one who holds Simba up in the very beginning. He's the wise man, which is the other reason I don't think there's a Hamlet, why this connects to Hamlet, because there's no real wise man in here. And Timon and Pumbaa aren't trying to kill Simba, which is what's going on in Hamlet. Not to mention he doesn't really have a best friend, and his father well, technically Scar does in fact marry Simba's mother, but she doesn't do it intentionally. He kind of forces on there. So again, not that many connections to Hamlet. It's a hero's tale. Moving on. But Rafiki realizes Simba's alive and comes to tell him off, essentially. He coaxes him away, shows him, like, I can show you your father. It's like your father lives in you. And he's chasing ghosts and things, and he's irritated. And then my favorite scene, which I know they take out of the live action, which is the entire point of this film. Rafiki hits him in the head with his stick, and basically Simba says, ow, that hurts. He's like, it doesn't matter. It's in the past. But he says, but it still hurts. It's like, yes, the past can hurt. And then he tries to hit him in the head with the stick again, and Simba ducks, and he laughs. And he says, you have two choices when it comes to the past. You can either run from it or learn from it. This is the entire point of the film. Simba has to learn from his past. He has to learn to stand up for himself. Now, noticeably, he was really, really little. He was a baby cub when he was tricked into believing he killed his father. Again, very similar to, not similar to Hamlet. Hamlet is a college student. Simba is not an adolescent lion. And Simba's father does not tell him he was murdered in a ghost form. So Simba goes back, has a giant fight with Scar. Scar's about to kill him, and he whispers, I killed your father. Simba gets pissed off and then proceeds to kill Scar. And everything goes back to normal. And it ends the way it begins, with Simba and Nala together and then presenting their child. We'll get to that. That's in the other ones, where you end up with the next child, and there's various different sequels. So I really do enjoy this film. It has the wonderful message of you either run from your past or you learn from it. Again, I do not believe it has any connection to Hamlet. It's just a hero's tale. That's just the way it is. Oh yes, and Timon and Pumbaa come and help, and they beat up the hyenas. It is a fun movie with great music, great voice acting. I have to pull it up here to see who are the voice actors. Again, it's been a while. You have Matthew Broderick, who is the adult Simba, and you have Jeremy Irons, who's Scar. You have the late James Earl Jones playing Mufasa. You have Whoopi Goldberg, who's one of the hyenas. You have the Zazu, who's the bird, is Rowan Atkinson. You have Rafiki's played by Robert Guillaume, who I'm pretty sure is also gone. And Nala's young boys is played by Moira Kelly. And you have Nathan Lane. And Nathan Lane is playing Timon, and Pumbaa is played by, and he's not being shown. I'll have to jump into it. But yes, Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick, who are very well known together. I'll jump into everything. I do not know why on earth they're not doing. I don't know. Pumbaa is played by Ernie Sabella, and those two, him and Nathan Lane, really play well off each other. And then obviously when you have the adult Simba, you have Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane, who are well known Broadway actors. So, and Jerry Irons, and of course, late James Earl Jones. Um, these are a fantastic cast. And Jonathan Taylor Thomas, who was very, very popular back then. He was one of the teen heartthrobs. Yes, I was into him too. Um, plays the voice of young Simba. So this is a really, it's a fun, yes, it's scary. It's a fun hero's tale done with great animation, great music. You really see their facial expressions with, yeah, we'll get to the live action disaster there. And it did really good for Disney because they made a Broadway musical out of it. So I really do enjoy this film. When I show it to small children, no, it can be kind of scary because again, you see a father die and it gets kind of scary. So late elementary on up, it is a great, great film. It is great Disney Renaissance at its best. It did one, I do believe it won several awards. Let's see, go back up here and see. Awards. Yeah, won 2 Oscars. Got 43 wins in various different things. It's still highly ranked here on IMDb. It's like it's an 8.5 on here. It's still hugely popular. The songs are mostly by name I cannot remember. It's at the tip of my tongue. You know who the songs are by if you have seen this. But it is an absolutely fantabulous movie. I did not rewatch this. I am talking about everything just from straight memory. I love Rafiki. I love that scene because it literally spells out the entire film for you. And yes, they took it out as a live action. We will get to that. I haven't even seen it. I'm going into negative views. But you'll hear me rant about that once I actually watch the dumb thing. And I have it out from the library. I own this. So that's it for this review. I am covering African American fairy tales. The reason I'm not doing The Princess and the Frog, and I probably repeat this in nauseum, is because I've already done it. So you can check out my African American Black History, whatever playlist I have that under, and check out my interesting opinions on Princess Tiana. That's the reason I'm not doing an African princess here. We're doing The Lion King, because this is as close to African Disney as I can get, and we're doing Disney princesses. We will get back to princesses. I've already done Frozen, and also whether they're officially Disney princesses or not is irrelevant. They are a Disney princess movie. We will get to Brave next month. And yes, I will be covering the live action Lion King as well as the animations of Lion King 1.5 and Lion King 2. Mufasa is currently out. I don't have any interest in that. I don't think it's a children's movie anyway. And unless they did something better with the animation, because yes, live action isn't really live action. It's just fancy animation. Because you can't really make a live action with actual lions, because that would be weird and almost impossible and really, really expensive. If you were trying, and you can't control the African savannah animals, it wouldn't make any sense. It would be interesting to see them try, but yeah, you can't do a live action. Then you'd have to do voiceovers, and it would just be weird. But we will be covering The Lion King here. I'm also covering African American folk tales and fairy tales this month, and then we'll move on to the Irish fairy tales and Brave and a few other things. And we'll be doing Ariel in April, and I believe I'm covering Mulan in May. And we will probably do some more Cinderella and a very few others. I've already covered Cinderella before and gone into the deep dives with the books and things, which, yes, is what we're doing here. I'm looking at the books, with the exception of Brave, because that's an original story. So if it has a book connected to it, I'm reviewing the book. We will see what happens with the live action Snow White. Yes, I will review that once it comes out on streaming services or in DVD, because kids can't go to the theater. And she just doesn't sit still. We're not there yet. I can't get her to watch a movie through at home, let alone in a theater. Ooh. So, nonetheless, if you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe, and join me on our journey through fairy tales here in 2025 as a escape, or check out the rest of the channel. I have a lot to offer. So, thank you, and hopefully I will see you next time.